Okay, welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me here on this Thursday afternoon. Really excited to talk about some music marketing with everyone. So, first off, it looks like we are live. Excellent. If you are watching me live, let me know in the chat if you can see me, if you can hear me. That is sort of all the important bits. And then we're going to dive right into the presentation as long as we can make sure we got some audio. So, my name is Patrick James Clark. Today we're going to be talking about Incremental Growth Theory, which is my brand new music marketing book. And within the context of this presentation, we're going to dive into sort of all the nitty gritty, all the frameworks inside the book that will really help you kind of get on your way to implementing these strategies. And if you stick around to the very end of the presentation today, I will actually give you a free copy. So make sure you hang out for that. It looks like the audio is coming in loud and clear. I see Rami in the chat, Giovanna in the chat. Good morning to everybody. Okay. It looks like we are in business. So let me just check a couple other things here. Sounding okay. All right. Let's get into it, everyone. Really excited. I should go one slide back. Here we go. Really excited for this one. Today's presentation is called Modern Music Marketing: How to Build a Loyal Fan Base and make real money from music without streams, virality, or record labels. And ultimately, by the end of this presentation, you're going to know how independent artists can grow a loyal fan base and generate consistent income with a simple step-by-step marketing system, even if no one's heard of you before. And that's really important. What I'm going to share with you guys today is not something that you need to be rich and famous to be able to implement or have millions of followers. It's a really step-by-step linear framework that anyone can implement into their career, regardless of the stage that you're at. And it's really based upon these sort of grassroots guerrilla marketing strategies that independent artists get to use and that are available to them, but are not available to kind of higher level artists necessarily. So, and I think that's kind of best represented by this picture here. This is a picture of me at a local festival here in London, Ontario, where I currently live. And I was playing one of those like kind of 2 p.m. afternoon slots, where no one is there. You're just kind of playing no one on the side stage. And because of the guest list of like the band, we were fortunate. We had like 15 tickets that we could give to people to get them into the event. And because, band members had them, but they weren't using them. So I had these Patrick James Clark shirts, these merch shirts made, and I gave them to all of my friends that we were able to get into the venue. And then just sort of said, like, guys, go around, but like act like you don't know me, okay? We need to sort of draw up some excitement here. And what was so amazing is that after the first main stage act ended, all of my friends were like, we got to go see Patrick. We got to go see Patrick. And they all ran over to the side stage. And it actually kind of drew this whole sort of swell of people coming over, because it's just that idea of nothing draws a crowd like a crowd. And I think it's just a fun kind of representation of like the nitty gritty kind of marketing tactics that I really love to use and love to implement, and that we're going to be talking about today in the presentation. So, who is this training for? So everything I'm going to share with you guys today is from my perspective as an independent artist. I've been an independent artist for over a decade, and it's my full-time job. And everything I'm going to be sharing with you guys is things from the perspective of an artist. So if you are a musician, or you work with a musician, or you create music and are looking for new ways to monetize it, you're going to like this. This is really what that's about. It's about building an economic foundation and a new marketing strategy for you to generate revenue from your fans. Who it's not for, this is not someone looking for like a quick hack or kind of that overnight TikTok hashtag, viral secret. Not that there's like anything wrong with that, but that's not what this is. If you're not interested in marketing your music, if you're not really interested in running your music career as a business, you'll be less interested in this. This will be less exciting for you, but that's okay too. Hey, if you do music for a hobby, I understand that. I'm just like you at one point in my life, so more power to you. But this is for people that are looking to make money from the music that they make pretty much exclusively. With that being said, who am I? Why am I here in this position? So, like I said, my name is Patrick James Clark. I've been a full-time working musician for over a decade. I've had award-winning hits as a songwriter and success as a artist myself. But I like to make it clear that I'm not a guru. And I say that with no shade to gurus. I know that's kind of like a fun thing to like throw stones at gurus, but not at all. I've learned so much from them. But that's not really my position. I really am a boots on the ground independent artist, and that's the main thing that I do for my career. So everything that I'm sharing from you is from a perspective of someone who's in the trenches doing it with you. And if I was like rich and a millionaire and famous and I could show you how to do that, I would. But that's not the perspective I'm sharing. I'm sharing real strategies that are working in the music industry right now that you could be implementing and are probably not aware of yet. But why should I be talking to you about this? Like, why listen to me? So while I am an independent artist, my specific area of expertise is in digital marketing. So I'm a certified funnel builder, which is one of the biggest digital marketing platforms on earth. And I've been certified through a company called ClickFunnels in digital sales funnels, which is one of the main things that I'm going to be teaching you guys today in this session. That picture there is actually of me in Vegas getting my certification award on this huge stage at this big conference. It was a crazy event. Anyway, so that is really like a lot of the bread foundation that we're going to be talking about today. Furthermore, in terms of being trusted by academia, this book I wrote with an accompanying asynchronous course that I was asked to make by Western University that's now taught in their fourth year music program, in their popular music studies program. So the only reason this even exists is because it was built and manufactured to be a university course. And now I'm able to make the book available to everyone, which is super exciting, but that's why it exists in the first place. And then finally, proven results. Everything that I'm going to show you guys today and talk about is things I've personally tried and things I've done with other musicians and other clients that I work with one-on-one. So they're really sort of proven out strategies. It's not theoretical. It's things that are working right now in the industry. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to share just a quick kind of glimpse into my origin story of how I learned the framework that I'm about to share with you guys, just to provide some context to, how I came about some of this information. So my story starts like most musicians. I've been a professional musician for over a decade, but I've been an amateur one my whole life. I started playing the drums when I was like 6 years old, and kind of did that my whole childhood and upbringing. I actually went to music school initially as a jazz drummer. And when I was in high school and when I was in college doing drumming, I was really trying to kind of teach myself to play guitar, teach myself to write songs, But by no means was I a savant. Like, I was no child prodigy as an artist. And I think that's important to point out, because if these strategies can work for me, I think they can work for anyone. And ultimately, I was just able to kind of build a serviceable career, a profitable career as a working artist, just by kind of incrementally getting better, and then ultimately being at a point where I could, get paid and work as a professional musician in the industry. But along the way, I tried a ton of stuff and I failed at a ton of stuff. And I actually found this here. I'm going to show you guys. I found all of these old CDs that I had put out in my youth. This whole collection here that you can see in the picture. This one I did in the 9th grade. And I did these all in my bedroom, but I didn't have like I didn't have a DAW, I didn't have like Logic or Pro Tools. I just had like this little kind of Bose machine that you plugged a mic into, and it burnt a CD for you. And boy, oh boy, did I give it to every single person that I knew, shamelessly thinking it was like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. This is another one that I did in high school. I did this one after that. And then when I was 19, I went to Nashville and did this very, very expensive coaster. I spent upwards of $20,000 Canadian to produce this record that I was pretty sure was going to make me famous, and ultimately did not. And then in 2018, I sort of wiped the slate clean, and then I ended up releasing these 2 records over the last 8 years or so that I've gone on to bring on the majority of my success. And the reason I like to bring up all this big stack of failures, this isn't even all of them. This is all the ones I could find. Is that I like to kind of make this joke that I have probably failed at this more than a lot of artists have tried. And my mission here is to give you guys the lesson without the scar, so that you don't have to go spend $20,000 on a Nashville produced album that is terrible. But ultimately, by 2019, things were kind of going pretty well. I was working as a full-time musician. I graduated top of my class from Western, and I was ready to become rich and famous. And at this time, I was playing like around 200 bar gigs a year or so, and it was the main way that I was making money. And honestly, it was a huge grind. Like, I would be driving 3-4 hours, sometimes 6-hour round trips to go play these different dive bars around Ontario, and getting back at like 3 a.m, eating McDonald's burger, crashing, and then waking up and doing it again. And while it was like arduous, to be candid, like I loved it. It was super, I was in my early 20s. I was living in student housing with my buddies. My friends were often at the bars that I was playing. Like it was a really fun adventure, but it had an inherent flaw in it. And I learned that the hard way when COVID hit in 2020. And if you were like me and you made all your money by playing music live, COVID was a big problem for that, right? It really closed down the music industry overnight. And that's when I learned a really valuable lesson in my career, which is, I had built my career on a single fragile foundation, which was live gigs. And ultimately, if you put all of your eggs in one basket, it gives you 100% of the reward, but you also take 100% of the risk. And I had not diversified my income streams at all as a musician. And I paid a hard price for that. And that's not to discount bar gigs. Like I still think as an indie artist, if you can play bar gigs, it's a great way to make some quick cash. And, maybe don't promote it as like an official show of yours. But if you can fly under the radar, I still play bar gigs. But it's a component of my income stream as an artist, not the main function that I was generating money or that I make money anymore. But what did I do when the industry closed down and COVID hit? I took a day job, as a lot of us had to do. I ended up kind of getting on the ground floor of this digital marketing, of this online internet education platform called Produce Like a Boss. And they were teaching musicians how to build home studios and market their music through home studio production. And they were looking for someone to come in and learn marketing kind of from the ground up. And that's where I started to learn everything about digital sales funnels, copywriting, how to run Facebook ads, everything about selling things on the internet. And I found that there was this commonality that all these other businesses were kind of using the same tools to make money, except musicians. This is a picture here of me on the slide. I'm at Funnel Hacking Live in Orlando, Florida, a big 5-day music marketing or big 5-day digital internet marketing conference. A really, really fun time. And I was learning all of these like insane kind of ninja ways to market things and sell things, but I wasn't seeing it applied to musicians. So that led me on sort of a vision quest, if you will, to find all the music marketers I possibly could. And I found everyone under the sun. I think I took, to this day, I've spent over $15,000 of my own money on courses, conferences, and coaches to kind of learn everything that was happening in the music marketing space and figure out a way to kind of distill it down into a linear framework, which ultimately has become the Incremental Growth Engine, which is the framework that I created to create a linear path forward for independent artists to start monetizing their career, their music more effectively. And that's what we're going to dive into today. But I wish I could tell you that it took me 6 months to learn, and then all of a sudden I was making 6 figures. As a musician, I've had 6-figure years, I've had 5-figure years, I've had 4-figure years, and everything in between. And it was a long journey because it ultimately took years for me to kind of get my fingers around all of it because it's just so overwhelming. And I think that's best exemplified here by the pictures of my cat, Elliot, my sweet boy, who in the picture on the left there is a brand new kitten who we got when I first started learning this, and now is on the right, a 6-year-old monster who terrorizes our home. And truly, I would get so overwhelmed by all of the input that I was getting of learning Facebook ads and learning how to build, websites and funnels and drive traffic and make sales and write emails and do copywriting and just all that stuff. I would go for these long walks around my neighborhood, like honestly keeled over. Like I'd be so stressed of like, how am I ever going to kind of wrap all of this into one sort of self-contained thing? And after about 6 years, everything started to click. I've been able to sell thousands of CDs, generate tens of thousands of dollars in direct to consumer revenue. So not like radio royalties or bar gig money or Spotify streams. I mean like hand to hand combat, people giving me money in exchange for the music that I make. Sell hundreds of concert tickets and add thousands and thousands of fans into what I call PJC Nation. And ultimately, I sort of stopped waiting for a big break and started building a big system. And that's the most important thing that I'm going to be talking about, guys, today, is that we want to be building an economic system that you can plug into your career that will accelerate everything else that you're doing. It's the foundation upon which you'll add everything else. If you want a manager, if you want a record label, if you want to go be touring, having this foundation first will make everything else more profitable for you. So that leads me to the Incremental Growth Theory framework, and it's what we're going to dive into today. It consists of 4 pillars: understanding funnel economics, understanding social media strategy as in the way that which we want to use it effectively for this this model. Front end funnels and what I call back end funnels. And that's what we're going to dive into right away. So let me know in the chat if you're still with me, if you're ready to dive in, if you're ready to learn how to make a bunch of money. And I am excited to dive in with you. With secret number 1. I have 3 secrets that I've sort of built out to comprise this framework and make it more consumable for you. And we're going to dive into the first one, which is how to build a machine that grows your fan base and monetizes your music. So the 37 CD call that changed everything for me. I told you guys when I was 19, I went to Nashville and I did this record. It cost me upwards of $20,000. I actually found some pictures from the trip. That picture on the left of me, like the night before packing. The middle one is the bus I took. I actually took the bus on my own to Nashville. There was no one else on the bus. Like it was nuts. It was the crazy. It took 24 hours. It broke down in the middle. It was an insane journey, but a story for another time. And then the studio on the right is the first studio that I ever recorded in Nashville. And it was this really wonderful, crazy, amazing experience. But I really was naive and green to the industry. It had the wool pulled over my eyes. And I really thought like, oh, this is like I was told it was a record deal. But it really was just like a production deal. I was just spending money to get my songs produced at a very, very high margin. And I remember asking my producer at the time, like, are we going to put this CD like in Walmart and Targets and stuff? Like, how are we distributing it? And I was sort of getting placated too. I was sort of being told like, oh, the first CD we're going to just get some hype about. But then, the next CD, that's when we're really going to, put pedal to the metal and we'll get that distributed in stores. And I was like, oh, okay, like that sounds good. So I ordered like 250 CDs to sell to my friends and family, and I sold 37 of them. And that's as many as I've sold to this date. I don't try to sell this one anymore, but it's a terrible CD. And that's when I realized, another harsh truth, right? That is, if you don't have an effective way to market your music, you might as well not make it. The reality that musicians believe that if you build it, they will come. It's just a fallacy. It's not a reality in the modern music industry. If you need this to be a business, people need to know and they need to be made aware of the music that you're making. And that led me on this big journey to discover kind of this new vehicle for selling music, which is called a digital sales funnel. Now, you've probably heard the term funnel a lot on the internet. It's kind of ubiquitous now with selling things online. But I don't find it's often explained well in the context of music and how musicians can use it. So I'm going to do a high-level explanation of digital sales funnels, and then I'm also going to, get down to the granular elements of it for musicians specifically. So what is a digital sales funnel? So simply put, a sales funnel is a series of web pages that guides the customer through the buying experience by making additional relevant offers to the thing that they already want. So we see this all the time in the real world. If you go to McDonald's and you order a burger, they ask if you want fries with that. If you go get your oil changed, they ask if you want your windshield washer fluid changed, right? It is a additional relevant offer to the thing you've already expressed interest in buying. An online sales funnel is simply the digital representation of that. So you can see here on the page, the little slides, we're going to move them through a series of web pages that have different relevant offers on them. So an example, the traditional path, right, that we all buy things generally on the internet is just through a cart checkout. So if you're buying toothbrushes, the usual sort of path forward is you give them some money, you buy a toothbrush, and you leave about as happy as anyone who can buy a toothbrush can be. If you are putting that offer, though, within the sequence of a digital sales funnel, we can combine products to improve the experience and generate more money. So an example might be that, our first main offer is like, hey, would you like to come in and buy a toothbrush? And when they click checkout, instead of going to a confirmation page, we insert another offer and we say, hey, really quick, people who usually like toothbrushes like toothpaste. Would you like to add any toothpaste to your order? They simply click yes or no, and then they move on. Now, after that, instead of going to a thank you page, they get one more offer, and it's like, hey, people who usually like toothpaste or people who usually like toothbrushes also like floss. Would you like to add that to your order? And they click yes or no. And what we've done here is we've inserted additional relevant offers to the thing they're already interested in buying, and by way of that, we're able to generate more money per customer. Now, here's what's so important for musicians to understand that I don't think is talked about enough. Nobody really likes toothbrushes. Nobody really wants a toothbrush. They need one. You have to have one, but you don't really want one. And whenever I sort of present the idea of digital sales funnels to people, I find musicians often bristle because it feels too salesy. It feels like a used car salesman. It feels like I'm hawking, a pyramid scheme or something like that. And I understand that like initial sort of reaction. But music is something that people inherently want. And you are not selling toothbrushes. Essentially, you're selling a somewhat luxury good, you know? The only reason that someone is going to come in and purchase music from you is because they want it. And by inserting additional relevant offers, you're actually enhancing the fan experience because they want the music from you. And I think this is sort of best exemplified. So here's toothbrushes no one cares about, music people do care about. This is best exemplified through my partner, Christine. Christine is probably the world's biggest Sleep Token fan. I think she was like in their top 2% of listeners in 2025 on Spotify Wrapped. Sleep Token, kind of like this new metal pop band, a great group, kind of underground, are really blowing up. And Christine's been a diehard fan. She got invited to an album listening party. 5,000 people across Canada applied, and 20 got to go. And when she was leaving for that event, I remember her talking to me, and she's saying, like, how much money should I bring to this? Like, how much cash should I bring? And I was like, oh, I don't know why. She's like, well, I don't want to run out of money before I can buy all the merch that I want to buy. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make sure I can buy everything. She's like, there's going to be merch at this thing, right? And I said, well, yeah, I mean, it's like the biggest event for fans ever. Like, of course there'll be merch. And when she got there wasn't any. And she was so let down, she actually ended up talking to one of the organizers and got to leave with a decoration from the event. And I think this just so clearly exemplifies this idea that musicians need to get over the fact that when we are selling the music that we are making, we are improving our relationship with our fans, not lessening it. You're not hurting the goodwill by making offers to the people that actually want the thing. Because here's someone who got probably one of the most exclusive events you could attend as a fan of this band and left being disappointed she couldn't spend more money on it. So if anything, I would love for you to leave this presentation simply with the notion that you need to abolish the mindset issue you have when it comes to selling your music, because truly you're doing a disservice to the people that want the music from you. Okay? So here's just a quick visual representation of a CD funnel that I have. This is a very popular one, popularized by Indiepreneur, a great music marketing company. Essentially, it functions as follows. I'll dive into it a little bit deeper later, but just to give you a quick visual representation, the main offer is a CD, and I say, hey, I'm going to give you the CD for free if you cover the shipping and handling. That's like the loss leader product. That's what's getting them in the door. It's, hey, I've got a bunch of CDs I'm trying to clear out. Just cover the cost of shipping, and I'll send it to your door. When they go to the checkout page, or when they go to the checkout, like the actual part where they enter the credit card, I have what's included as called an order bump. Now, an order bump is sort of like a last minute stitch. I'm just going to grab this bubble gum when I'm in the aisle of the grocery store. It's kind of like a quick, easy thing to say yes to. It's a one-click checkbox on my order form, which says, hey, would you like me to autograph the CD for you for an additional $2.99? They don't have to. They can just not click the checkbox, but if they do, it gets added to the order immediately, and they click checkout. Now, before they go to the confirmation page, I insert another offer and I say, hey, I actually have another CD. It's my first album, my debut album. Would you like to add it to your order? It's $12.99. You click one button, it's added to your order. Click no, and you continue forward. Then I insert one more offer. And it's, hey, I've got these albums on digital. They're not released on Spotify. Not all the songs are available. If you want them right now and you want your own digital copies, it's $9.99. You can add that to your order, click yes or no. And then they leave the funnel. So you can already see the sequence that we're moving them through. We're not offering them toothpaste after they bought a CD. We're offering them additional relevant offers to what they already want. Someone who likes my first album, someone who likes my music, might want my other album. And by finding unique ways to combine the products that we have together, we'll create a better buying experience for the music fan, okay? So that is a very high level of what digital sales funnels are. I know this part's a little bit robust, but stick with me here. It will make it'll get clearer as we continue through. And again, don't worry so much about internalizing all this information right now, but rather understanding it from a high level so that when you get kind of into the book, you can really kind of hit the ground running. So now that we understand what a digital sales funnel is, we have to understand why we need to use one. And to do that, we have to understand two sort of economic equations that really are beneficial when it comes to music marketing. So if you guys are still with me, let me know in the chat. Give me a thumbs up. Say you're still here. Say you're ready to learn, because this is going to be the headiest part of the presentation. But I promise it is worth it. So the first equation that we need to understand is cost per acquisition and its relationship to average order value. Okay? Give me 1 second here. My computer's going to die. Give me a second. There we go. Okay, phew. My cable was loose. Anyways, so what we need to understand is cost per acquisition in relationship to average order value. These are really important terms for musicians to comprehend. So cost per acquisition is how much money you have to spend to acquire a new fan or customer, specifically someone who joins your email list or makes their first purchase. It's defined by the cost of goods plus the cost of advertising divided by the total number of customers that we get in a specific sales campaign. So for example, there's a reality where it might not cost you anything to get a customer. If you are advertising on your organic social media and your things you're advertising aren't something you have a cost of goods for, like, maybe you've got, you're selling tickets to like a digital concert, like a live stream show, or you've got a box of t-shirts that you bought 10 years ago that you don't remember how much you spared for and don't care about, you don't actually have a cost to acquire people. Now, on the vice versa, if you're spending money to get vinyl manufactured and you're running Facebook ads, you have to add those together and divide them by the number of customers to get the amount it's costing you to get someone to buy something from you. We need to understand that term, cost per acquisition, that value, in relation to something called average order value, which is the average. Okay, we're back. Hello, everyone. So sorry about that, guys. It looks like we just crashed, but we are back in the presentation, so hopefully you're still here with me, and we're gonna keep on rocking. I just need to jump back to the slide that we were at. Sorry about that, guys. Modern technology. Now, what are you gonna do? Okay. So we're back talking about our understanding of cost per acquisition and its relationship to average order value. Okay, looks like everything's running again. I know we lost a few people. Hopefully we get them back here. So we need to understand our average order value, right? And now the average order value is the amounts that one customer spends within a single transaction. And digital sales funnels increase the average order value by stacking relevant offers like order bumps and upsells. So when we think about this in the example of our toothbrush, right? So if we were selling our toothbrush for $5 in traditional sales cart, our average order value would be $5. It's the most that a customer can spend on the product that we have. But if we put that into our sales funnel, so let's say, for example, we had $5 of toothbrushes, $3 for floss, and $2 for toothpaste. Now we have the potential for a customer to spend $10 on our sales funnel through our sales campaign. So as long as every person doesn't say no to every single order bump and upsell, we've got something that's going to increase the average amount that any customer spends when moving through our campaign. And you can see how easy this applies to musicians, right? Like if I'm selling CDs, I can package together other relevant offers and therefore create more money than anyone would have made if they were just buying one product. So the next sort of equation that we need to understand is cost per acquisition in relation to lifetime value. So now this is going to look more holistically at our career. So we understand cost per acquisition. How much are we spending to get a customer into our community? And specifically for the way that I speak about it, it's to get someone onto our email list, which is our direct line of communication to make offers to our audience. We want to know what that cost is. Now, there might be situations where our cost per acquisition is higher than our average order value, right? We're actually losing money to get someone to buy music from us. But if we understand the second equation here, which is cost per acquisition in relationship to lifetime value, we can see that there's actually a larger strategy at work. Lifetime value is the lifetime revenue that we have divided by our total number of customers. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's sort of a quick and dirty version to do quick calculation. And if we understand that we have a lifetime value of, let's say, like $50, and that's saying, hey, the average fan is going to spend about $50 throughout the life cycle that they're in our community. Now, understanding that metric allows us to take different types of risk when it comes to trying to acquire fans. We might be okay to have a loss leader product. We might be okay to lose money on a certain campaign because we know we have additional offers that we're going to make throughout the life cycle of the customer in terms of a couple of years, 3-4 years of a buying cycle. And we know what that customer's worth to us. Understanding these metrics is truly the bread and butter, the foundation of building a business. And I'm willing to bet most musicians watching this right now don't really have an understanding of these numbers. And that's totally okay, because neither did I. But the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. You can start tracking these numbers now with whatever you're doing to monetize your music, whether you're selling concert tickets, whether you're selling merchandise or CDs or vinyl, whatever that might be. You can start getting an understanding of these numbers. Because like I say, I've had 6-figure years and 5-figure years and 4-figure years. But the years in which, not really 4-figure years anymore, but the point is the years in which I make the most money is when I'm most cognizant of money going in and money coming out of my business. So these are really important metrics for you guys to understand. And again, don't worry too much about memorizing it all right now, but have a loose understanding of what these metrics actually mean and why they're important for you guys to start tracking going forward in your career. Okay. Everyone take a deep breath. I'm going to sip of water. I know the stream crashed right in the middle of the most important part, but hopefully you're still with me. If you're hanging with me, give me a thumbs up in the chat, because we're going to move on to secret number 2, which is the 3-part fan building system that works for any artist. So we understand sort of the theory now. We've covered what are digital sales funnels, what is a funnel, cost per acquisition, average order value, lifetime value. We've understood those terminologies. We've got a loose understanding of what the actual vehicle is that we're going to be using to make more money. Now, how do I use it as a musician, right? Now you're probably wondering, what do I do with that information? How do I actually apply it to my career? And that's what we're going to dive into right now. Starting with social media strategy. So we're sort of building a 3 sort of pillared approach here with my framework. Social media strategy, front-end funnels, and back-end funnels. That's what we need to start integrating into our careers. So the social media strategy that I implement in my business is probably a little different than what you might be expecting. So the first part of the strategy is really simple. You got to post every day. I know that's wow, Patrick, I came to your presentation and you told me to post every day. I get that. Bear with me. The first reason you are posting every day is simply that if you post every day, you will see growth, okay? The same metric, the same sort of philosophy as if you're trying to lose weight and you simply just weigh yourself every day, you will lose weight. Having a consistent sort of repetitive creative output the result of that will just be that you'll get more followers, you'll get more views. But that's not really why we're doing it. That's a side effect of what we're doing. The main reason we need to post every day is because we need as much content posted as possible so that we can look for a deviance in performance of our baseline. So probably a lot of us here watching this are stuck in 200 view jail, right? I know I'm guilty of that too. I'm a card-carrying member of 200 view jail. If most of the content that we're posting gets 200 views, and one video gets 2,000 views or 5,000 views or 10,000 views, what that indicates to us is something about that piece of content is working. And now we need to repurpose that content into an ad with a call to action behind it. And what that means is we're going to use that piece of creative to drive traffic to our funnels. This works so effectively for 2 reasons. One, you're getting to test out your ads for free with no risk ahead of time. But even if you're not going to repurpose that content as a paid ad, repurposing that type of content or that exact piece of content with a call to action behind it that's hey, I'm going on tour. Hey, get my CDs here. You've already got a proven framework. The second reason this is so effective is that it takes all the pressure away from posting, guys. Trust me, I'm going to be real with you. The main reason I was not posting content as much as I know that I should have been is that I was embarrassed to be seen failing in front of my friends. I didn't want, all my friends are musicians that I follow. We all follow each other, and I didn't want them to see me failing on the internet. So I didn't post enough. Once you push past that and understand you're not trying to go viral. Going viral is great. I really want that for you. I hope you do. But that's not something you can plan for, but it is something you can be prepared for. And what we really just want is find high performing organic that we can repurpose into something that drives traffic towards a place that we can control them. Because that's the problem with social media. You don't control that audience. We're just on the heels, like about a year ago, TikTok almost went under. If a social media platform collapses, audience migration is super rare, and you don't own that audience. You don't own those contacts. So you really have no way to reach out to them. And further to that, you're at the mercy of the algorithm. So, 10 years ago, if you posted on your Facebook page, everyone who followed you would see it. That isn't the case anymore, right? We all kind of know that. So truly what we want to be doing is we want to be getting people off of those social media platforms onto an email list where we have a direct line of communication with them. And the best way to do that is by repurposing high-performing organic content and driving them towards a different offer. We just did this with one of my one-on-one clients. She had a few TikToks. She was in 200 view jail, but she had a few that did well, had like 10,000 views, 15,000 views. We grabbed those and they worked great as ads. So that's the main way that we're going to be using social media, and it really takes the pressure off of posting. And now you're just going to try and throw as much content out there as possible, understanding a lot of it's going to flop, but we're just going to look for the cream of the crop that we can then use for our own advantage. And that's going to be front-end funnels. Now, front-end funnels are lead generation mechanisms. And like I say, the reason of that is to build your email list. An email list is the single most underrated thing that any musician can create right now in this modern age. It's the only way to have a direct line of communication to contact the people that actually want to hear from you. But here's what's really great. Building an email list full of customers is even more important and even more like killer in terms of having an even more effective, right? It is upwards of 16 times easier to sell something to an existing customer than it is to create a new one. So by using front-end funnels, doing something like a loss leader product, doing something like something where maybe we're going to lose a little bit of money up front, or a free giveaway to get people onto our list. The main function of that is that we want to be compiling as robust of a community on our email list as possible. So some examples of a front-end funnels. Again, remember a funnel, a series of web pages that guides the customer through the buying experience. We have an opt-in funnel, the CD funnel that I already talked about, the buy X, get Y free funnel. These are all funnels that are intended to be lead generation. So the CD funnel, the free shipping and handling funnel, again, really popular for musicians right now. The function is, hey, I'll give you a free CD if you cover the shipping and handling. Now, there's going to be some people that buy that and you don't make any money off of it. You lose money. But because they've made a purchase for you, they've opted into your community by making a purchase, they're infinitely easier to make additional sales offers to going forward, right? So the CD funnel, for example, is the free plus shipping and handling. Hey, I'll get $4.99 is the main offer. It's just the cost of shipping. We have an order bump, which is the $2.99 autograph. Upsell number 1 is some more CDs. Upsell number 2 is digital CDs. That function allows us to increase our average order value high enough that we can spend money on ads, get customers to come into our community, and then make additional sales to them. Going back here to like an opt-in funnel example, you see those all the time, right? Those are, hey, sign up for my mailing list, get 20% off my merch store. A good friend of mine built his list initially by giving away sticker packs. He had 1,000 stickers left, and he said, hey, anyone who opts in, I'm going to send them a free sticker pack. Don't even pay for the shipping, and he just mailed it out to them in the mail. And, a little bit more of an investment, but he built his list initially with people opting into that. Now, that does make it a little harder because they're not paying for anything, but they're still opting in to be a fan of you and your music, and being able to reach those people directly is insanely powerful. Okay, so that's a front-end funnel, and the function of it is to generate leads. Now, once we've collected those people on our list, we need to monetize them further through what I call a back-end funnel. And these are our more higher ticket offers that we make to people to generate more revenue, and often either offset the cost of acquiring them or just generate more profit. So examples, so a back-end funnel is to, serve the fans deeply, not just sort of from a surface level. We want to really nurture that relationship. And again, By making offers to our fans, we are further ingratiating them into our community. We're doing them a service because they're fans of the music that we make. You are somebody's number one artist, and you need to kind of behave like that, and by making them things that they can enjoy. So some examples of like back-end funnels, a concert ticket funnel, merchandise funnels, custom songs funnel, house concert funnels. These are all things that once you've got a community of people on your list, having a direct line of contact to them is a great vehicle, to make additional sales for higher ticket things like tours or higher ticket types of shows. So a concert ticket funnel, for example, might look something like, the traditional way we all sell tickets is like Eventbrite or Bands in Town or Ticketmaster. But this is one of the strategic advantages that indie artists have over bigger artists, is that most of the time when indie artists are booking shows, they're just booking out rooms. They're just paying a fee and they're booking them out. So they're not beholden to ticket selling services like Eventbrite or Ticketmaster. I'm going on a little tour this spring and I'm selling all the tickets myself. I think one venue I'm not, but for the most part, I'm selling all the tickets myself through a digital sales funnel. And look at the way now that we understand the idea of packaging together different offers. Look at how effective it can be when stringing together something like a ticket sale. So opposed to just selling tickets, the order bump for my offer is, hey, do you want a 2-pack of CDs? It's $15, clean and easy. I'll mail it to you ahead of time so you can enjoy the music before the show and get ready for the show. They can click add to the order. Upsell number 1 might be a merch, like pre-order your merch. Like how often do we go to shows and the merchandise is the line for merch is around the block, or they don't have your shirt in the size that you want? Even if you're an indie, knowing that someone could hey, I'm going to pre-order my merch so that I can skip the line and make sure that my size and the design I want is in stock when I get there. That's something that's such a win-win. As an artist, you know how much merch to bring. And as a fan, you're guaranteeing the merch that you want will be there and you get to see it ahead of time. And ultimately, that's the advantage that musicians have ahead of indies over anyone else, because you can control all of that yourself if you control the ticket buying experience. And by way of that, you can actually sell less tickets and make more money than you would otherwise. And currently on the tour that I'm doing, because I had to front all the money for it, using a digital sales funnel actually allows me to make money without having to sell out the entire tour. And that really has become, the best way for me to be able to, actually do shows as an indie artist, is by combining the offer within additional relevant offers. Another one like a custom song funnel, another higher ticket thing. These are very popular right now, especially if people are a fan of your music. They hire you, you write them a song to spec, like about someone in their life, about, a family member or a relationship. And then, you can bundle that however you'd like within the vehicle of a funnel. So maybe it's an acoustic vocal version for $250. Maybe it's a full band production for $1,000. Maybe you distribute it on Spotify for an extra $50 for them. It's really limitless. And I would encourage you guys, it's going to be unique to each individual, but I would encourage you guys to really sit with your product suite and your career and look at what are the ways and creative ways that I can combine the products and offers and services that I have as a musician in a way that would better serve fans of my music. Okay, with that said, I'm going to dive into the last secret here. If you're still with me, guys, give me a thumbs up in the chat. I know we crashed for a minute, but would love to make sure that you're still there. Say hello, say I'm loving this, drop a fire emoji, whatever you got. And we're going to dive into secret number 3, which is how I got paid to make fans and how you can too. And I'm going to show you a real case study here of exactly what we've just been unpacking over the last 45 minutes and how I applied it to my career. A little disclaimer, please don't sue me. I'm not saying you will make exactly this much money, but rather I'm just showing you the system that I did and how it works. So I want to show you the real numbers. I want to be candid, but be cool. Don't sue me, man. Okay, what does my incremental growth engine look like? So mine was comprised of repurposed organic creative running as a paid ad, pushing people towards a CD funnel, and then pushing them towards a concert ticket funnel. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like in the breakdown of it all. Social media strategy. So this video is a 3.5-minute music video. It's a performance video. We're all in my mom's minivan. We're playing, the band is in the van. They've got their drums and their guitars and the bass, and it's all there. We have a camera person in the shotgun seat filming it as I drive around the neighborhood. It is not an organically viral video, but it has 1.2 million views through running as an ad. It performed well organically, so I've been running as a paid ad. And listen to this, guys. I've been running it as a paid ad now for over 5 years, and nothing I do can beat it. So when I talk about like, you just need to find a few pieces of organic creative. Like you might need one. Like you could post every day for a year, and if you get one ad that crushes out of that, you could be set for the next few years of campaigns. Because I'm trying to beat this ad and I can't seem to do it. So this is my main ad, and it drives people directly to my front end funnel, my CD funnel. And what's great about this is that it's building so much social proof because it's been running for so long that it's actually trickling down to becoming, people really love this song now because it's featured in this video, and this video's got so much proof, social proof on it. And it drove people towards my CD funnel. Now, my CD funnel I broke down for you before, like that's exactly the one that I was running. This is within a 12-week campaign, okay? So the revenue that I generated in these 12 weeks was $3,154.13. That's how much money I made from people buying my CD, buying my order bumps, buying my upsells. Now, the amount I spent on ads was $3,753.06. One thing to point out, I don't have a cost of goods that's relevant to this campaign because my CDs were actually printed via grant funding, so I didn't have to worry about the cost of goods in this case. My return on ad spend, my ROAS, was 84%. That means for every dollar I spent, I got 84 cents back. My cost per acquisition, $15.38. My average order value, $12.60. And I did 247 sales in terms of new fans in that 12-week period. Now, if you guys have been paying attention to the presentation so far, you can see a problem. The cost per acquisition is less than the average order value, right? We're out of balance. I'm spending more to acquire a customer than I am that they're paying me. Now, this isn't always the case. I just ran a campaign like this for one of my clients, and she had a 2-to-1 return on ad spend where every dollar she spent, she made $2 back. She sold out all her CDs in 14 days and made $1,700, or 15 days and made $700. Like, it was crazy. But I'm going to show you why this is actually still an okay campaign when we look at it within the larger context of an incremental growth engine. And that is because I was using back-end funnels as well. I was using my front-end lead funnels to bring people into my community, and then I had different offers I was making them as we went. So the first one was a house concert, and this is a great strategy. Feel free to steal it. The way I propose house concerts is, hey, would you like to host a private house concert at your backyard or in your home or at a venue of your choice? It is free to host. You just have to sell a minimum of 30 tickets at $20 a piece to your friends and family and community. Within that 12-week period, one person bought it and hosted it. And within that funnel, they also opted to buy a custom song for a discounted rate. So August 9th, I performed a house concert. They sold 54 tickets to their friends and family at $20 a piece. It brought in $1,170 in profit, and they ordered a custom song for an additional $250. And that fan only knows who I am because previously they bought a CD for $4.99 shipping and handling. So they've moved through my ecosystem, become a fan of my music, and now are buying my highest ticket thing. And you can see here that is such a win-win for them because they didn't have to spend anything to have this house concert, this private concert, and their community all got to experience the show, and then they all became fans as well. So when we combine the incremental growth engine of front-end funnel and back-end funnel together, we can see the summary stats here, where I spent $3,753 in ads. I had a total revenue of $4,574. That made my net profit $821, and I got 301 new fans. Now, $821 is great. Like that's nice to be profitable in 12 weeks. That's not a lot of money to make. That's not like ideal, but nice to make money. But here's where this thing kicks into high gear. Remember when we talked about lifetime value in terms of what is it worth to me to actually acquire a fan? What is my lifetime value of my customer? Understanding that puts these 300 new fans into a whole new perspective. Check this out. Let's take a rough number of like $50 of lifetime value. That's saying within the next 3-4 years, every customer is going to spend about $50 on your music. So we take 301 fans, we multiply that by $50, and we get a total sort of buying revenue potential of $15,050. Now we've already recouped some of that, so we have to subtract the $4,574 we've already made, and we're left with $10,476 in potential earning power. So that's what those 300 fans still represent to me. They still represent an additional $10,000 of revenue if I continue to make offers, which we're talking about here by building our different funnels, our back-end funnels out and front-end funnels out. We have additional offers we can keep making to them, and they represent $10,000 in earnings. Now, don't go like buy a house with this idea you're going to buy $10,000, but can't you see how powerful this strategy could be? This is in 12 weeks. What if you did it for a year or 2 years? You can see how important it is to build a community of people that actually want to give you money for the music that you make. And this is the best way to generate that type of fan base. Hopefully that blew your mind, because it blows my mind every time I look at this number. When you crunch it down like that, the earning potential is so much greater than going viral or getting a Spotify playlist. This is where the bread and butter of building a music business actually is. But I imagine you're feeling kind of overwhelmed. I get it. It is super overwhelming. It's like drinking from a fire hose. Like I said, when I first learned all of this, I learned it over kind of 6 years to really distill it down. I just told it all to you guys in 45 minutes, and it honestly would give me ulcers. I was so stressed out about it. But there's good news, and that is everything we talked about today is in the book. The point of this presentation was to really make the book consumable for you, and it's inside the book, Incremental Growth Theory. It covers this entire framework. And the best news of all is that you guys are all going to get a free copy of it. And it goes through everything that we've covered. It's the exact textbook that's at Western University right now, and you're going to get a free copy. And if you stay to the end of this presentation, I'll let you know how to get yours. One thing I want to note about this book is that this is like a prop, like this is my book, but the book is digital, and it's digital for a really important reason. It needs to be fluid in its ability to be updated. I've published other books in past, like fiction books, and I love a hardcover book. Boy, do I love a hardcover book. But this book needs to be updated as the strategies and things around it change, okay? Like ultimately, digital sales funnels change, running Facebook ads change, new strategies are gonna get introduced. And I wanted this thing to be a living, breathing document. So not only will you get the book, you will also get lifetime updates to the book, again, if you stick around to the end of this presentation. Because with that being said, while I've got you guys here, I would love to just share an offer that I made for you guys. It definitely won't be for everybody, but for people who would like to go a little bit deeper and get some more help implementing everything that we just talked about today, with your permission, I'd love to just take 5 minutes here and share a quick offer I put together, because I actually have something pretty exciting. Not only are you guys going to be able to get the book today, you're also going to be able to enroll in Incremental Growth Academy, which is the course that's at Western University right now. Up until now, it was exclusively available to students of the program, but as the creator of it, I have the rights available that I'm able to allow other people to enroll in it as well, as it's an online, asynchronous, self-paced course. So today, if you guys are interested, you can now enroll in the community and get real-time implementation to do this in your career. The way I like to look at it is the book is sort of done do it yourself, like read through it, do it yourself. And the course is do it with you. If you want sort of the deep dive into all the strategies that we talked about there's over 50 videos of sort of step-by-step instructions of how to technically actually implement everything we talked about, like click where I click, how to build the funnels, how to build the email list, how to run the Facebook ads, everything laid out for you in a step-by-step built out tutorial. For funnels, for ads, for social media, for everything. It's all inside this course. So if you guys would like to enroll today, you're going to get instant access to the Incremental Growth Theory book, valued at $27, and you're going to get enrolled into the Incremental Growth Academy course, which is valued at $14.97, which is the cost to take a single class at Western University. So that's the price of enrollment. So it's a total value of $1,524. But like I said, I put together an offer for you guys because I really wanted to make this thing kick butt, and it's exclusively for you. I've also included 5 funnel templates. So one of the biggest things about the learning curve of this is learning how to build the funnels. So in the course, I walk through it step by step. I show you how to do it, but I've also included one-click importable templates. So all you have to do is bring it in to your software, change the name, change the color, change the words, change the product if you want, but it's all ready to go. So if you want a high-performing CD funnel, it's right there for you. If you want a high-performing concert ticket funnel, it's right there for you. Merch funnel, custom song funnel. I walk through all of them, and they're all designed to be high-performing because they're built upon the strategies that I've learned as a certified funnel builder of like what's working best in the industry right now. So there's 5 funnel templates, proven one-click funnel templates. You can launch faster, look professional instantly, built on conversion psychology that's already working, and it just lets you focus on the music, not the tech. I get how overwhelming all of this is, and my mission is to make it as simple as possible for you, and I can't make it any simpler than basically giving you the thing on a silver platter. So if you enroll today, you can get the Incremental Growth Theory book for $27, the Incremental Growth Academy course for $1,497, and the 5 funnel templates valued at $2,497. I am a certified funnel builder. If you were going to hire me to build a funnel for you, I would charge you $500. And there's 5 funnels in there pre-built. So a total value of $4,021 if you enroll today. You're also going to get 90 days of one-on-one access to me. So this is not like my job. I do this sort of as a side thing to help out at Western University. By way of that, I do not have thousands of students in this program. I have like dozens. And I can be more accessible and more able to help you. So you're going to get 90 days of one-on-one coaching access to me directly through WhatsApp. You can kind of text me whenever you need. And it lets you get real-time guidance specific to the things you're struggling with, custom strategies, not cookie-cutter advice. And I wanted to kind of like remove the 48-hour support email. I wanted to just kind of make something that's like, hey, I have a quick question. Can you help me right now? And because I only have dozens of students, not thousands of students, I can just reply. It's sort of a very limited thing that I won't be able to offer much longer. But right now, because this is brand new, I can make it available to you. And ultimately, it just gives you accountability with things that keep you moving forward, right? Like you're going to be in a position where you can check in with me whenever you need to make sure that these things are working the way they're supposed to be working. So if you enroll today, you're going to get the Incremental Growth Theory book valued at $27, the Incremental Growth Academy course valued at $14.97, 5 funnel templates valued at $24.97, 90 days of one-on-one access to me valued at $2.97, and this 101 Hook Hacks book. So I put this together. This is another book, a smaller kind of ebook. But one of the things that's hardest for me as an artist when it comes to content is ideation. It's coming up with what do I actually post. So what I did here is I took 101 high-performing TikToks from musicians, and they're broken into different content buckets. When you read my book, you'll see that I have different content buckets in terms of the types of content that you can make. And it's basically 3 months of a content calendar of content ideas that you can look at and replicate on your own. Now, obviously, some are going to be like easier than others, but it will really, I think you'll be so surprised at once you eliminate the sort of content overwhelm, once you eliminate the, oh my gosh, what am I going to put up today? And you see sort of a linear laid out path of, oh, I could just recreate this and make it my own. This is the way that I found success on TikTok. Some of my videos are even in this one. Some of my friends' videos that have gone viral are in this one. It really will help you with posting every single day and then finding the deviance of what's going to perform the best to run as your ads. I think it's like the most valuable thing an artist could have when it comes to social media. And you're going to get that included today when you enroll for a value of $17. That's what I sell the book at. It's $17. So the total value with the Incremental Growth Theory book, $27, Incremental Growth Academy course valued at $14.97, 5 funnel templates valued at $24.97, 90 days of one-on-one access to me for $2.97, and 101 Hook Hack book valued at $17, a total value for $4,335. And the final thing you guys are going to get is access to the Facebook community. Again, we have a small, intimate Facebook group. It's designed so that you can collaborate with each other. I've been in a billion of these groups. I've bought everything you can buy when it comes to music marketing. And the community is a really important element of it. It lets you ask questions more kind of like laid out more visually and lets you see what other people are doing in relation to these strategies. How is it working for other people? So you're going to get free access to the Incremental Growth Academy as well. Solve problems in real time together, find accountability partners. It's a private student community for all of us that are working on these things. And I think being around this people that are like-minded and trying to achieve the same goals is absolutely so important and so valuable. So today, if you enroll, you are going to get the Incremental Growth Theory book valued at $27, the Incremental Growth Academy course valued at $14.97, 5 funnel templates valued at $24.97, 90 days of one-on-one access to me valued at $2.97, the 101 Hook book, PDF book valued at $17, and the Incremental Growth Academy, which is a community which is priceless, valued at $4,335. Now, obviously, guys, I am not going to make the tuition for this course $4,335. That would be crazy. Even though this offer stack, if you bought everyone individually, that's how much it would cost. But that isn't what I'm going to charge today. But before I tell you what the cost of tuition is, let me just ask you, if all this thing did was give you a predictable system to grow your fan base and make money from your music, would it be worth $4,000? If it helped you believe that you were capable of building a real business around your art, would it be worth it? If it stopped you from sort of guessing every day, chasing streams, trying to go viral, trying to get a record deal, if it actually built you an economic system that made you money for the rest of your life, would it be worth $4,000? I don't know what that answer is. I don't know what predictable growth is worth to you. We all have our own number. But understanding that having a system that builds your fan base every single day, turns your music into reliable income, and waking up to sales and new fans while you sleep, what is that worth to you? Because today, if you enroll in Incremental Growth Academy, you're not only going to get all these bonuses, you're going to get to enroll for one payment of $297 Canadian. I am a Canadian musician. I have a Canadian business. I charge in Canadian dollars. If you are watching this from America, it is basically free if you take the dollar conversion into account. So if you guys would like to enroll today, you can go to igtbook.com and you can enroll today. The cart is going to be open until Sunday at midnight, and you will get lifetime access to the program. So all future updates, anything gets changed, you will have access to it forever, as long as it exists as a thing in the world. you will. That's not a year or 90 days. They're not revoking it. You'll have lifetime access for as long as it's around. So you can go to igtbook.com right now to check out. And ultimately, you have two choices, because you could do nothing. You could stay exactly where you are. You can have a fun time at this webinar like people do and then leave. Or you can invest in yourself. You can lock in on building a music career that actually supports you. It's March, guys. The music industry is closed down. We're all just figuring out stuff. This is your time. Go to the woodshed. Build your career. Build the foundation that's going to make you serious money so that you can build everything else on top of that foundation and take everything to the next level. And if you'd like to do that, it's igtbook.com. And as a quick, fast action bonus, everyone who acts today will get a Marketing Feeds Musicians t-shirt. Totally free, just include in your order. I have so much pride in doing digital marketing. I have so much pride in this sort of style of building a music career that I made these shirts myself. I think they're cool. So you'll get one free included in your enrollment today. The first 10 people that enroll will get a t-shirt. It will be available to you upon checkout. So again, it's going to igtbook.com and you can enroll. And just while you guys are enrolling, I'm going to take some questions about the course. I saw a couple questions come in. If you guys have any questions about this program, will it be right for you? Someone asked if I'm a beginner, is it a good idea? And I think 100% it's good for wherever you're at in your career. But if you have any specific questions about the course, drop them in the chat. I'll take them here. And then I'm going to answer just a few other questions I saw come in. And if that's all, then we'll wrap up. But the first question I wanted to address when it comes to building sales funnels. So you can't really build what's called a digital sales funnel, the series of web pages, in a traditional website builder. They're just not really set up for it. Fortunately, there's a bajillion options out there for building these things, and I provide you with all of them in the course. There's free options, there's more paid options, there's kind of everything you need depending on where you're at, and I cover a lot of the different variations of what we call a tech stack of what you need. So don't worry about that. All the information is included. All that to say, you'll probably need a different piece of software than what you usually are using to build these types of strategies, but it's all laid out for you. There's free trials, there's free options, there's kind of everything you need to actually do this. The second question I saw was, if there's any kind of guarantee, any sort of money back guarantee, and there definitely is. I have what I call a 48-hour questions asked guarantee. And what I mean by that is You will get access to everything as soon as you enroll. There's literally nothing is withheld from you. So you'll know right away if this course is good for you. And if you don't like it, just reach out to me and we'll refund you. I don't want to take anyone's money who doesn't want this. I just say it's a questions asked because I just ask that you tell me what would have made the course good for you so I can improve it going forward. Okay, so that is sort of something I want to cover, but there's definitely no risk. You can definitely give it a test run and let me know. And for everyone else who's not interested in enrolling today, the book will be emailed to you tomorrow morning. So if you get enrolled today, you'll get instant access to the book. If you are just here to grab the free copy, I totally get it, and you will get it tomorrow morning in your inbox. If you do not see it, a lot of these emails are going to people's spam. Just reach out to me. I think I texted everybody here personally. That's my real phone number, and that's my real email. So just either reply to the email you got from me before or text me back, and I will make sure you get it, because everyone is going to get it, but it doesn't make it to everyone right away. So just because of spam and like filters and things like that. Without further ado though, guys, again, igtbook.com to enroll today. Cart will close on Sunday, and that will be the last time you get access to it. And if there's nothing else, I'd just love to finish, guys, with this is the final paragraph of my book, and I think it's a great way to close out a presentation like this. So it says, incremental growth theory is founded around my core belief that every musician who wants to make this their career has the power to do so. By looking at the industry through a fresh lens and changing the way in which we share our music with the world, we have the power to build something really special, something that generates income, stability, and allows us to make music for a living. That's what I want for you, and it's yours for the taking, so go get it. And you can go get it at igtbook.com. Remember, the fast action guys will get a free t-shirt, and I would love to see you in this community. I truly believe that this will change lives and can change the course of your music career, and I would love to help you with that. So with that said, guys, thank you for spending your Thursday morning, afternoon with me. I will leave it there, and I will see you in the program. Please check your inboxes for your copy of the book, and we'll talk soon.